So you want to buy an airplane, and you don't want to buy it to plaster your corporate logo on the tail of it. You only want to buy it for one very specific reason, and that is you want to make money. If you have the capital, entering the commercial aviation market feels like the ultimate power play. A standard narrow-body jet like an Airbus A320neo or a Boeing 737 MAX carries a price tag of roughly $120 million. Step up to a wide-body Titan like the A350 and you are looking at an asset worth well over $300 million. But how does owning a depreciating asset flying through the stratosphere at 600 miles per hour actually generate wealth? The secret is that the commercial aviation industry is split into two entirely different games. The airlines play a miserable, low-margin game of moving human beings, but the owners play a high-stakes, multi-billion-dollar game of finance. If you want to enter the world of aircraft leasing, you are about to become a landlord in the sky. But before you wire the funds to Seattle, you need to understand the absolute realities of the market. So here are the true pros and cons of owning a commercial airliner. If buying airplanes was a bad idea, shadow giants like AerCap and Avalon wouldn't command fleets of thousands of jets. There is a reason Wall Street, private equity firms, and massive Irish leasing companies pour billions into this exact asset class. First, let's compare an airplane to traditional commercial real estate. If you build a $100 million luxury shopping mall in a city and that city's local economy completely collapses, you are trapped. You cannot move a shopping mall. You are stuck with an empty building and a colossal mortgage. An airplane is the exact opposite. It is an infinitely liquid, globally mobile asset. If you lease your $120 million Boeing 737 to an airline in South America, and that country's currency collapses or the airline goes bankrupt, you don't lose the asset. You literally fly it away in the middle of the night. Within 30 days, your repossession team can fly the jet to a facility, repaint the tail, update the software, and lease it to a rapidly growing low-cost carrier in Vietnam or India. Because aviation is a global standard, demand is fluid. The plane always goes where the money is. Second, when you buy an airplane, you usually don't operate it. You use a contract called a dry lease. You hand the physical machine over to an airline and they handle absolutely everything. The pilots, the fuel, the insurance, the airport fees, and the passengers. For the privilege of using your metal, that airline signs an ironclad 10 to 12-year contract. For a modern narrow-body jet, you are collecting a flat rate of around $400,000 every single month. That is nearly $5 million in guaranteed passive yield. You simply hold the title, clip the coupon, and watch the wire transfers hit your account while the airline absorbs all the operational headaches of running a transport business. Third, airplanes are weapons of mass tax deduction. Governments actively want airlines flying safe, brand new, fuel-efficient aircraft. To encourage this, tax codes, particularly in the United States and Ireland, allow for highly aggressive, accelerated depreciation schedules. Even though a plane will fly safely for 25 years, you might be able to write off a massive percentage of its $120 million purchase price against your other taxable income in the very first few years of ownership. For massive financial institutions, an aircraft isn't just an income stream. It is a vital tool to legally shield billions of dollars in corporate wealth from the taxman. And fourth, even when the asset dies, it pays you out. Around year 25, the airframe has been pressurized so many times it is no longer safe for commercial passengers. The plane's book value drops to zero, but it takes a final flight to a desert boneyard in places like Victorville, California. There, it is methodically butchered in a process called parting out. The massive turbofan engines are stripped and sold for millions on the secondary market. The avionics, the landing gear, the auxiliary power unit, even the cockpit seats are extracted and certified for reuse. A totally dead 25-year-old narrow-body jet can easily yield up to $5 million purely in harvested organs. That is a guaranteed, absolute floor to your investment. If the pros make aircraft ownership sound like a guaranteed path to generational wealth, you're ignoring the terrifying volatility of the machine itself. Aviation punishes overconfidence with total corporate annihilation. An airplane is not one machine. It's essentially two incredibly fragile, multi-million-dollar engines with a metal tube to keep the rain off the passengers. Those engines account for up to 40% of the entire value of the aircraft. Aviation authorities mandate that these engines be completely overhauled at specific intervals. We are talking about tearing a modern turbine down to the individual titanium fan blades, inspecting them with ultrasound, and rebuilding them from scratch. A single shop visit for a modern engine can cost anywhere from $8 to $10 million. If your lessee goes bankrupt right before an overhaul is due, you are suddenly handed back an airplane that requires a $20 million cash injection just to be legally allowed to fly again. If you haven't aggressively forced the airline to pay into a maintenance reserve fund every month, that bill comes straight out of your pocket. In aviation, fuel efficiency is the only metric that matters. Fuel is an airline's highest variable cost. Therefore, the value of your asset is entirely dependent on whether it is the most efficient machine in the sky. Imagine you bought a fleet of pristine Airbus A320s. A few years later, Airbus announces the A320neo, featuring new engines that burn 15% less fuel. Overnight, the market for your older jets evaporates. Top-tier airlines cancel their leases, demanding the new model. You are forced to lease your older, gas-guzzling planes to second-tier cargo operators at massively depressed rates. Unlike real estate, where a 50-year-old building can be renovated, a 15-year-old aircraft cannot be magically retrofitted to compete with next-generation aerodynamics. Technological obsolescence is a sudden, violent death sentence for your balance sheet. Remember the incredible benefit of having a globally mobile asset? That's also its greatest weakness. Because airplanes cross borders, they frequently enter hostile jurisdictions. When you lease a jet to a foreign carrier, you're trusting the international rule of law. But the law is fragile. In 2022, when massive sanctions were placed on Russia, Western aircraft leasers immediately canceled their contracts and demanded their planes back. Russia simply refused. They passed domestic laws re-registering the foreign-owned planes as their own, effectively stealing them. Almost overnight, the global leasing industry lost over 400 commercial jets. Over $10 billion of highly engineered assets simply vanished into a legal black hole, sparking a catastrophic years-long war with insurance companies. If you own planes, a stroke of a pen in a foreign capital can wipe out your entire fleet. Almost no one buys a $120 million airplane with pure cash. You buy it with debt, typically a 20% down payment, financing the rest through specialized aviation banks or mortgage-backed securities called EETCs. This leverage amplifies your returns when times are good, but it makes you terrifyingly fragile if a global event, like a pandemic or a massive financial crisis, grounds the world's fleets. Airlines will immediately stop paying their lease rates. But the bank that loaned you the $100 million for the jet, they still want their monthly check. If lease rates drop faster than you can pay down the principal of the loan, you are suddenly underwater. The collateral is worth less than the debt. The banks panic, call in the loans, and seize the fleet. Shipping and aviation history are both littered with the corpses of over-leveraged owners who thought the good times would last forever. So, should you buy an airplane? If you're looking for a safe, low-stress place to park your money, absolutely not. The commercial aviation market is a brutal, unforgiving ecosystem. It's hypersensitive to the price of oil and the sudden shocks of global geopolitics. But if you understand how to structure the debt, how to calculate depreciation down to the final hour of an engine's life, and how to hedge your geopolitical bets, it's one of the most brilliant financial mechanisms ever devised. Now, if you want to know what happens if you buy a ship, check out the left video. Thanks for watching, and see you in the next one.